Hello, hello, and welcome into the weekly mixing stream. We are back here after the holidays, after being off for Christmas, and then for New Year's. I think both Wednesdays were Christmas Eve, and then New Year's Eve for the couple weeks we were off there. We are back with another cover song. This is a cover of Eminence Front by The Who, so kind of a cool synth keyboard-based song. As always, the link at the top of the chat or at the top of the description. You can download the multi-tracks for this song completely for free. There's so many other multi-tracks on that page as well, so grab any of them that you want. There's links back to all of the streams, so you can grab any set of multi-tracks you want, go back to the stream. All of the replays stay up so you can follow along, mix along with me, mix the song with me. Otherwise, you can just use any of them for your own mixing practice if you would like to as well. So this will kind of be a cool song here. We've got drums, bass. We've got some electronic drums we'll have to mess with on the intro. There's a bass overdub, which is kind of a cool, I don't know, it's kind of a cool John Entwistle kind of thing there. We've got the lead guitar, which is the only guitar, a stereo organ part, which is kind of our repeater section, electric piano, piano for like 2 bars in the middle of the song, lead vocal, and then background vocals here. I also have the original track ready to go for referencing. On my mix bus, I have the console shaper, which is just at 0 here on the drive. No noise, no crosstalk, nothing like that. Maybe we'll mess with the noise or something. With an old Who song. Coffee's already coming back to bite me, and I just had like 1 drink. But drive is on all the way at 0 here, so it just gives me a little bit of that extra console depth and bend. And then after that, we're going into the mix bus compressor, which is the Studio One, the Britcomp, the PreSonus Britcomp. It's their SSL style bus compressor, 2-to-1 ratio, 30 millisecond attack, 100 millisecond release. Threshold's at negative 1.6, and then the makeup gain is at 1, because we're only going to be doing about 2, maybe 3 dB reduction here with this unit. After that, end of my mix bus chain, or end of my mix A chain, I have the soft tube tape machine. Color amount is just a click up from default, so 5.1 here on the color amount. B type for the type here, for the color type. It gives me the most bottom end warmth, I feel, so that's why I always end up there. You can kind of get high end saturation, low end saturation, and then kind of an even one, I think, is where C is. A and C might be switched, but B is kind of the most bottom end warmth, which is why I settle there. And then for tape speed, we're at 30 IPS, 30 inches per second there. I do parallel my mix bus, but we'll blend that in towards the end of the mix here. I'm just sending from my pseudo mix bus here, my stand-in mix bus, mix A into mix B. We'll do some parallel processing there. And then both of these send to my actual mix bus, which is just running this mastering style limiter. 6 dB of gain, pushing into a negative 1 dB ceiling. It just gives me that mastering style volume and that little bit of limiting. So when I finish my mix and I send it into the mastering session, there's no surprises when I crank up the volume. The balances don't change, the frequencies don't change, nothing like that. There's no surprises. So I like to have this on while I'm mixing, just so I'm more sure of how it's going to sound at a mastered level. But I do pull my main output down by about 6 dB. So I get that level and I get that limiting without having to listen super, super loud. So let's roll over here. I'm just going to mute everything out for now. And we're going to start with the drums. Some of the stuff here might have some processing already on it. Sometimes I kind of mix as we go through the recording process. But I'll show you everything that's going on, so nothing shall remain a mystery. Here is our kick drum. Let's kind of find the section where everything is the most powerful. It might be this last chorus here. Yeah. So we're just going to settle here in this last chorus then. We will create a little loop, and let's take a listen to our kick drum. I'm going to get another balance, a fresh balance on the kick in and kick out here. I like that about there. Got some extra volume here though for sure. Let's kind of see where our biggest peak is here to set our limiter. And it might be that hit going into the final chorus there. So let's see, -9, is that too much? No, not at all. I'm gonna put just a touch more here. We might go down to 10 or 11. Let's try 11. I kind of don't mind that. You can hear the limiter working, but I kind of like what it's doing to the front end transient. Yeah, I don't mind that at all. So let's keep moving. A little bit of a high pass just to shape the slope going up to the fundamental here. I apologize for any of the sniffling there. I'm still trying to get over being sick. So if my voice goes today too, you'll know why. A little bit of ringing here. Get rid of that. Pretty close there. The preset that I have on the compressor usually ends up pretty close threshold wise, but 3-to-1 ratio, 30 millisecond attack, 60 millisecond release pretty much puts us in time. Let's get some top end here. You can kind of see we slope off around 5K. I want some of that 8, 9, 9K click, so let's bring that up. It's kind of a cool start. I'm going to pull the volume down because we're going to get more volume as I boost bottom end here. So end of the chain, boost some fundamental. I kind of like that. Maybe a little more click. That feels pretty good. Let's look at our snare here. Same kind of thing. I want to get the limiter in place first here. So that's a big one we'll have to take care of. So let's pull 2 off of that and try like -7 there. I don't want to go over 3, so I'm gonna pull that back to 6. And we'll just copy it down and go to -9 there. I don't mind that for a starting point. I want to get rid of that ring. Ooh. I like that. There was one more there. I've been swapping the stock compressor out lately for this free plugin from Psychocircuitry. It was really hard to find, but I just went looking one day for like a DBX 160 XT style compressor, and I found one. I don't think there's sites up anymore. I don't know. I don't remember where I found it, but if you look for Psychocircuitry, the RLC79, you should be able to find it. I have the harmonics cranked all the way up to 400%. I have it on ×1, but sometimes I'll flip it up to ×10. And if you want some distortion, you can go up to ×100. 3-to-1 ratio. So there's ×10. There's 100. Which, it's kind of nice. I mean, you get some of that crunchiness. I'm gonna leave it on 1 here. I do have the transformer on as well. Just about 6 dB reduction there. Love what that does to the snare drum. Let's get some top here. I like that. And then you can see we kind of have this valley here in the high mid, so let's flatten that out. I like that. I'm going to pull the limiter down here. And we'll pull it back just a touch. And then I want to add some bottom here at the end of the chain on the snare drum. I like that. Here's our overheads. I'm going to flip to mono just for a second on these. You can see I kind of have my high pass in place here, so I can just click it on. And it takes care of some of the sub buildup. For me, at least, I don't like a lot of bottom end coming through on the overheads. I would rather the low end power be coming from one source, being just the kick drum, and not have it coming from the kick drum and the overheads. Kind of helps with any phase issues as well. Although you will see I leave it in on the mono room mic. Let's pull out some of this. Cleans up the sound a lot on our overheads. I like that. Let's take a look at our toms here. So we only have a couple tom hits. As we listen through, though, there's some like roto tom hits that we'll have to probably boost in the overheads. We could probably see them as we go through, though. It's probably those there. Perhaps not, though. But let's look at our normal toms here on the kit for the moment. Not bad sounding to start. I'm going to roll up under the fundamental, and we'll pull out some of this. There we go. Give them a little volume boost. Here's before. Here's after. I want to give them a little top end attack. I like that. Maybe a little bottom end. Let's see if we boost around 70, kind of bring up some of the lows. Oh, I jumped too far back with my back button there. I don't mind that, like 2 dB down there. Here's the mono room. This is honestly one of my favorite mics on the kit because it's just so mean and beefy sounding. And I roll off some of the top end just so all that cymbal noise doesn't bleed through. I mainly want this just for the energy. You can hear it's crushed pretty good as well. I abuse the Avalon channel strip I have down here. That sounds good. And then the stereo room. Let's see if we need to do anything to the electronic drum loop. Maybe not. That I might boost up a little bit. So that's our rototoms coming through on the overheads you can hear. So let's just grab those and just give them. I like that. That's cool. Now, we have two basses to contend with. We have one that's just pretty much carrying the bottom end. So, pulling down some of this 200. Got our high pass. And then we're hitting it pretty hard with the compressor to really hold it in place. 10 dB reduction there. And the multiband's already on as well. Just holding that low end in place. I don't know if I want to add too much top end energy to this, because I think I want most of the top end to come from the distorted bass, which we're going to blend in here. I don't want these two to fight too much. So I'm going to leave the top end alone here and just kind of focus on getting the bottom end right. We've got this big boost at the bottom end. I want to see how that's sounding there down in the lows. You could see the benefit of the multiband holding the bottom end tight like that is that it stays super consistent and even has room to bloom after the initial hit, which is super nice. I think I'm going to pull that multiband over just for some control here. Maybe at the very, very end. I'm going to reset the thresholds here, but I just want some... Same thing on the top end. So both of these are 20-to-1 ratio, fast attack, fast release. Crossover point, or the split point's at 180 hertz. So let's pull up those there. A little quiet sounding, so let's grab them from there to the cymbal hit. I'm digging that. So what we've got going on here on this distorted bass. High pass, big top end boost here. That's pushing into red light distortion, cranked almost all the way up on the second stage. Hard tube, pulling the output all the way down there because of how much drive we've got. Another EQ, boosting bottom end this time and boosting some more top end into this multi-band, which is compressing the bottom end and the top end separately, just kind of holding them in place, giving them a ceiling. And then I rolled off some of the low end, now that we got it kind of even, got it set where I want it, to emphasize that top end and make sure it doesn't fight with our low end bass guitar. You can see I've got this kind of crazy looking EQ going on the double organ track. So I've got one panned to the left and one panned to the right. Here's what they sound like without the EQ. So it's just pulling down some of that 4K area and emphasizing some of the mid-range. Our compressor's just grabbing some of that and holding it down. I kind of like that. So here's our electric piano. This thing I've got a limiter on to catch some of these peaks. So just an EQ rolling off some bottom end. Bringing up some 4K so it cuts through. I've got this FET comp on it, attacks at 0.55 milliseconds, 50 millisecond release, 4:1 ratio. This is to catch some of the peaks initially. And then this guy's at the end just as a little ceiling. So here's how they come in. We definitely need more length on our snare drum, don't we? So let's see if we can pull that up. I don't know if I want to do the delay like that. Okay, what if we do? What if we do delay it by a 16th note? That might be kind of interesting. I'm going to pull in an analog delay here. I just want to see what a 16th note is. Because that would be here. It would. So let's see where that is. 153 milliseconds. So if we come to our reverb, is there a pre-delay? Can we type in, please? Let's see what this sounds like. If it sounds terrible, it sounds terrible. If it sounds awesome, that would be amazing. It's much darker, so let's try darkening it. I'm definitely going to put this on the toms as well. And I'm thinking I want to do... I'm thinking I want to put the rototoms on a different track. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to take any time the rototom fills come in, and we'll throw them up to this track. That way I can put the reverb on them, and they don't interfere with the overheads, because I don't want the reverb on the overheads, obviously. Let's see if we can... just a little bit of that out. And let's see if we beef them up a little bit. And maybe add a touch of 4K. And then probably a limiter on it as well. So if we put this at like... Let's do one before. Yeah, and then let's throw one after and kind of see. Now what if we put the sun plate there? Okay, so there's our other one. Let's pull that up. Sometimes my Alt key doesn't like to work here. Let's put some fades on it. I don't need to see that aggressively. Probably bring it up another 3 dB. Let's see. Yeah. Where are we here? That's perfect. This last piece needs to come up. Better. The snare just sounds like a shotgun. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Okay, so we got another Rototom fill here. Bring that up. And we can probably let's check our limiter. Yeah. I feel like I hear some harshness on the overheads here. And I feel like I can see it there too. So let's, yep. Better. All right, let's take a listen to this guitar here. Cool, very, very cool. Let's put our little preset on it here. I'll tell you what, just looking at it, it looks great. I don't know if I'll do any more EQ to it. Maybe that. And then let's hit it with the multi-band to control that top end, even it out. And that verse section, I want to... control the bottom a little bit more. There is a reverb off to the other side there. Let's see if we go... Do we go hall reverb? Is that what we do? I'm going to put this mix tool here, and we're going to crank up this solo section. Let's get this piano in maybe before we do the vocal. It's 1 bar of piano because it's The Who, and there's got to be random instruments out of nowhere that just show up. Looks very, very similar processing-wise to our electric piano, high pass, and then a big top-end boost so it cuts through. It's really bright in the original, if I remember. And then just 3 dB reduction here with the 1176. 0.55 milliseconds on the attack, 50 milliseconds on the release, 4:1 ratio. Here's before. Obviously, that's not cutting through. We're probably not even close to as loud as the original. Actually, we're fine.
Just to come and join the party, won't you come and join the, won't you come and join the party, dressed to kill, dressed to kill, won't you come and join the party, dressed to
I like this line here on the vocal because it seems to be the most powerful. So we're going to kind of listen to this guy here to get the vocal in place and probably to reference as well. So let's...
Won't you come and join the party, dressed to kill.
High pass first, especially for things like party. I don't want any plosives coming through.
Won't you come and join the party?
You see them all down there?
Won't you come and join the party, dressed to kill.
And then let's hit it pretty hard here.
Won't you come and join the party, dressed to kill. Won't you come and join the, won't you come and join, won't you come and join the party, dressed to kill. Won't you come and, won't you come and join the party, won't you come and join the party, dressed to sunshine. People forget the spray flies, the speed bump glides, and people forget. But
Oh, it looks like we might need a limiter there, but let's get our top end kind of in play here first.
Won't you come and join the party? Won't you come and join the party? Dressed to. Won't you come and join the party? Won't you come and join the party? Dressed to. Won't you come and join the party? Won't you come and join the party? Won't you come and join the party? Dressed to kill. Won't you come and join the party? Dressed to kill. Dressed to kill. Won't you come and join the party? Dressed to kill. Won't you come and join the party? Dressed to kill. Dressed to kill. Won't you come and join the party? Won't you come and join the party? Dressed to kill. People forget.
Now, if I remember correctly, I mean, we've been listening back and forth here. I think his vocals dry.
The sun shines. People forget.
It's pretty dry except for some reverb. There's no like intense slap or anything like that.
The sun shines. People forget.
The reverb sounds kind of offset too, like off to the right.
The spring flies, the speedboat glides, and people forget their hiding. The girl, won't you come and join the party? Dressed to kill. A dress to kill. Found an eminence front. Eminence front. So put on.
That bass is stereo, isn't it? Let's see if we can do something about that, because it has so much more presence in the original track.
It's a put on, eminence front. It's an eminence front. It's an eminence front. It's a put on. It's a put on. An eminence front. It's a put on. It's a put on, eminence front.
That's what we're missing.
It's an eminence front. It's an eminence front. It's a put on. An eminence front. Eminence front. It's a put on. Found an eminence front. Eminence front. It's
I like that way better. Okay, so all we did there was we added the chorus plugin. I flipped the channel to stereo as well. I added this chorus plugin to make it wide, and then we kind of came back and added a lot more mid-range here, so it cuts through, and I pulled back the high pass a little bit to add some of that kind of like 200 hertz area to the bass. That way it feels more like a wide guitar part.
Dress. A dress to kill. It's an eminence front. It's an eminence front. It's a put on. An eminence front. Eminence front. It's a put on. Eminence front. It's an eminence front. It's an eminence front. It's a put on. It's a put on. It's a put on. It's a put on. Come and join the party, dressed to kill. Won't you come and join the party, dressed to kill? A dress to kill. Dreams flow. Dreams flow. Dreams flow. People forget. Forget they're hiding behind an eminence front. Eminence front. It's a put on.
I'm going to mix each of these kind of backgrounds individually for the moment. That way we can kind of squash all of them before they go into Soothe or anything like that. I don't know how much work Soothe will actually do on these because
Eminence front.
they're very roomy.
Eminence front. 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 Eminence front.
Do I want to put a de-esser on it? Probably.
Eminence front. Eminence front.
That's not bad. Let's just copy this over and kind of see if the compressor's working the same on each one. That's all I'm worried about.
Eminence front. 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 Eminence front.
That works there. Same thing. We'll just keep copying them down and we'll tweak them for each set here.
Eminence front. Eminence front.
That looks fine to me.
Eminence front. Eminence front.
And the last guy.
Eminence front. Eminence front.
I might pull that up a little bit there.
Eminence front. 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 Eminence front.
Now these aren't too loud, I don't think, in the actual scheme of things.
Eminence front.
So let's pull them down.
Eminence front. Eminence front. Eminence front.
Forget the hiding behind an eminence front. Eminence front, it's a put on. Get the hiding behind an eminence front. Eminence front, it's a put on. It's an eminence front. It's an eminence front, it's a put on.
I like that.
Eminence front. Eminence front, it's a put on. Eminence front.
I believe that's solo there. It sounds strange though.
Eminence front, put on. Eminence front,
Yep.
put on. Eminence front. Eminence front. It's an eminence front. It's an eminence front. It's a put on. It's a put on. It's a put on. It's a put on. Come on, join the party. Forget the hiding, yeah. Behind an eminence front. Eminence front. It's a put on. It's an eminence front. It's an eminence front. It's a put on.
I like it so far. Let's get the vocal kind of referenced in. We'll reference our drums as well before we start adding. I think the only thing left we have to add is reverb to the lead vocal. Everything else feels really, really good. I'm slightly concerned about the space on the keys. We might blend a touch of room verb on those, but I feel really, really good about how everything else is sounding. I like the delayed reverb on the snare. It just sounded like a giant shotgun. Super, super cool there. I don't know if I showed that well enough. All it is it's a 4-second reverb. It's a plate reverb. It's just an impulse response of the Bricasti Sun plate, the Sun plate A. It's 4-second reverb, and then I have the pre-delay cranked up to 153 milliseconds, which is just a 16th note we're at 98 on the BPM. And if you download the Multitracks, which link at the top of the chat, top of the description, you can download the Multitracks for this song called Eminence Front. It'll have the key and BPM information on it as well. Otherwise, it's down here. F minor, 98 for the tempo. That's all the pre-delay is. It's a 16th note at 98 beats per minute. And then I have this EQ afterwards rolling off everything below 500 and then everything above 5K. So it's a very mid-rangey sounding plate reverb that just kind of echoes right after the snare. So very, very cool effect. Other than that, that's the only effect I think we have going besides the hall reverb that's on the guitar. So our guitar is panned off to the left, and then we have this recital hall reverb, which is literally just one of the stock reverb settings from Studio One, panned off to the right. So our guitar is off to the left, our reverb is off to the right, and then this is just an EQ afterwards, rolling off everything below 300 there. So that's sounding really, really good so far. We're going to look at just this middle section here, where the vocal is the strongest, and we're going to reference. So we're going to look at the original, but I've got my 2 reference tracks here that I always use. For referencing, I've never been a believer of finding like a track that fits like the same genre or something. I think it's more important to have a track that you're familiar with. So not just finding something that you think sounds good and it sounds similar genre-wise to the song you're mixing. I think it's just more important to have a song that you're really, really familiar with, and that you know what it sounds like in a bunch of different places. On your studio speakers, on your headphones, in the car, in a club, what have you. I think that's more important than finding something that matches the song. That's why we have the original track here, but I'm not going to primarily reference against the original track. I'm going to primarily reference against my couple reference tracks because I know what they sound like, you know, out in the wild. But if you're doing a cover, having the original as well can be good for energy, right? So the two reference tracks I have are good for frequency analysis because I know what they sound like everywhere else, but pulling in the original just to kind of reference the energy that they put in and kind of capturing what made that song so powerful to people listening to it can be really, really helpful as well. Anywho, I've talked a whole bunch there. All we're going to do here is I have this EQ on the main output. Now I'm going to bump this up to 0. So if you're listening on subs or anything, you might want to turn your volume down because I'm actually going to crank this all the way up 6 dB past 0, and we're going to listen to 50 hertz and below. We're just going to listen to little frequency sections, little pieces of the frequency spectrum, and reference against the two reference tracks I have here, as well as the original, and kind of see if we're in the ballpark of a finished sounding mix here. So 50 hertz and below first. I have the main cranked 6 dB above 0 here, so if you're listening on subs, excuse me, you might want to turn that down a little bit so it doesn't blow your system out. I'm going to flip to mono here as well. Let's listen 50 hertz and below. Excuse me, getting the hiccups there. I feel like we could use a little more energy there, but before I boost in the super, super lows, I always like to check the frequency range above it to see if it's a frequency problem or a volume problem. So that's a frequency problem because everything sounds good there and the bass actually sounded a little too loud. So we're going to go back and we're going to boost just a touch of sub on the kick and bass. Kick drum first. I'm just going to pull this down to, actually we'll pull one of these higher ones down to about 40 maybe. Yeah, and we'll just go. Better. Bass sounds fine. Just needed that extra energy on the kick drum there. So cool, cool. I'm happy with the sub frequency range. Back down to 0. And now we will listen to move these around a little bit here. We'll listen to the top end here. So 8K and above. And we will move down. I like to jump from the super, super lows to listening to the super, super highs. Keeps my ears fresh here. So here's 8K and above. The vocal actually sounds great. Wow. So this is why referencing the frequencies of the original isn't always helpful. You could hear, we were listening to the bottom end, we were lacking bass in the bottom end. The kick drum actually sounded great, but we were lacking bass guitar on the bottom end. And now on the top end, we're lacking that modern brightness on the vocal. So you can't always reference the frequency spectrum of the original, but you can reference the energy of the original. Just a little bit more top end click on the kick drum. And you can hear we lack top end on the drums as well in the original, which is that's just a product of the time. I want to add a little more top end of the snare drum, so I'm going to do it. I'm tempted to add more top end there, but I'm going to leave it for the moment. I don't want to get too carried away with that. I feel like we need it. I'm going to do just a click up here. That sounds great. Awesome. Okay. Little half dB. Just always be careful when you're boosting top end on your vocal. It can very, very easily get harsh and brittle sounding to the listener, so just got to be careful there. 2K to 5K. A little bit more mid-range or high mids on the snare. Okay, I like that. I like the mid-range energy we have there. That sounds awesome. So the further down you get into the mid-range, the more referencing older rock songs becomes more applicable to your song. So back to mono here. That's a little much there, but it might be the tone on the vocal. See, no, now I lost some energy there, so we're gonna leave that in. That's just the notes of the vocal. That's fine.
Won't you come and join the party? Just to kill.
I like that. Let's keep moving here. I like it. I like it. Let's keep moving here. So now we're down into the low mids, 200 hertz to 500 hertz. There's so much more low mid energy on the bass. I don't know if I want to go that far. I think we're okay where we are, but let's keep moving. Yeah, because of that extra bass, there's so much more energy there. I like where we're sitting here.
Won't you come and join the party? Dressed to sunshine.
We're gonna blend some reverb in on the vocal here. All this is an impulse response of the Lexicon 480A plate. It is a 2-second plate reverb with a 152 millisecond pre-delay. We're going to blend that up underneath our lead vocal. Still in mono.
Sunshine, that people forget. The spray flies, the speedboat glides, and people forget. Sunshine, that people forget. Forget the heart
That extra Eminence front is bothering me for some reason.
An Eminence front. It's an Eminence front. Eminence front. It's a put on.
I'm going to grab this one. And we're going to swap it. It feels like it just doesn't have enough power for some reason. So let's blend these real quick, just so we have one from a chorus, from an actual chorus line, and it feels like it has more energy. I'm just going to pull that down. Let's listen to that.
Eminence front. It's a put on. Eminence front.
That changed absolutely nothing, didn't it?
It's a put on. Eminence front.
Yeah, that changed absolutely nothing.
It's an Eminence front. It's an Eminence front. It's a put on. It's a put on. It's a put on. It's a put on. Oh, it's a put on. It's a put on. Come on, join the party, dressed to kill. Won't you come and join the party, dressed to kill? A dress to kill. Dreams flow. People forget.
A little bit of clipping here on the drums, and I'm going to do the same thing on the masters. So I want to try and get volume now. We're going for volume. We're going for energy now that we've got everything in the mix. So we want to make sure nothing's going to push our limiter too hard on the master. So a little bit of limiting on the drums, because these are the most powerful transient heaviest things in the track. And then we're going to do the same thing on the master here. I'm going to do a little bit of clipping on the master, probably listening to...
Forget they're hiding, yeah. Behind an Eminence front. Eminence front. It's a put on. It's an Eminence front. It's an Eminence front. It's a put on. An Eminence front. Eminence front. It's a put on. Eminence front. Eminence front. It's an Eminence front. It's a put on. To put on. To put on. To put on. Come on, join the party. Dress on. It's a put on. To put on. To put on. To put on. Come on, join the party. Dress to. Come on, join the party. Dress. And people forget. Spray from.
Okay, I'm happy with where everything's sitting now. Let's bring in the parallel on the entire mix here. So I'm sending from mix A, which is where I'm doing my mix bus processing, into full signal. We're sending full signal into mix B here. And what I've got on mix B is this 33609 style compressor, the classic comp from PreSonus, 2-to-1 ratio, 100 millisecond recovery, thresholds at -10, so we're shooting for 7 to 10 dB reduction here. So I've got the output gain at 8, so kind of matching the level there. And then after that, we're adding 3 dB at 60 and 3 dB at 7K. This is kind of an old Crucial Art Algae style trick, right, on his parallel drum bus, except we're doing it on the master. We're paralleling on the master. So if I just hit play here, this isn't up, but you can see the compression it's doing there. So now I'm gonna flip to mono. We're gonna blend this up underneath the entire mix here.
Eminence front, it's a put on. It's an eminence front, it's an eminence front, it's a put on.
Hear the energy lifting?
An eminence front, it's a put on. Eminence front. Eminence front, bound in eminence front. Eminence front, it's a put on. It's an eminence front. Eminence front, it's a put on. An eminence front. Eminence front, it's a put on. Eminence front.
One thing I forgot, I don't think that extra one's there in the second chorus. Yeah, so that needs to go in the second chorus there.
It's a put on. Eminence front. It's an eminence front. It's a put on. To put on. To put on. To put on. Come on, join the party. Come on, join the party. Dress to. Come on, join the party. Dress to. Come on, join the party. Dress to kill. Dress yourself to kill.
We're going to bring that ending in just a touch there. So it doesn't hang around too long. All right, let's set our start point here. We haven't listened to our electronic drums in a while. I want to send these to the Bricasti, I think. Not super heavy. Let's see though. That's way too heavy, but let's pull them down maybe half. So it's at -6. Let's go to -12. Even lower. Let's go to -18. I like that. That intro on the guitar needs to be way quieter. I'm going to try just clip gaining it down. That works for me. What if we go till the hi-hat comes in? Oh, that's so much smoother. Okay. The drop out of the hi-hat from the electronic drums to the real drums was bothering me. That sounds better. Okay. Are we good? I think we're good. So let's kind of zoom out here. We've got our start point set, end point set. I'm gonna push this up to 0 here, and we're gonna do a full listen through. We're gonna do one on the headphones, and then we'll do one on the mains here in the room. But just the volume on the stream just a little bit, because I'm gonna listen louder here. So the volume going out to the stream here will be pretty much the same. It's been at 0 the whole time for you. I listen 6 dB lower just while I'm mixing, but I don't want my voice to like tower over the mix while I'm going. So you're at 0 pretty much the whole time here. I'm going to listen at 0 now. We're going to do a full listen through the track on headphones and then on mains. And we're going to call this puppy done. So let's take a listen here.
Dressed to kill.
That's sounding pretty good. I'm curious about some harshness on the lead guitar and perhaps on the lead vocal. That's why I threw that EQ in on the lead guitar there when it came in. We'll see about that when it comes in. The cymbals might be a little too much still, but we'll kind of hear here. We're going to do one more full listen on the mains here in the room. And we're going to finish this puppy up here. All right, I'm going to mute my mic out here. We're going to listen one more time all the way through on the mains here in the room. I might end up pausing halfway through or partway through to tweak some things, but here's our listen through.
Eminence front. 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 Eminence front.
Forget the hiding behind an eminence front. Eminence front, it's a put on. It's an eminence front. It's an eminence front, it's a put on. An eminence front. Eminence front, it's a put on. Eminence front. It's an eminence front. It's an eminence front. It's a put on. It's a put on. It's a put on. It's a put on. Come on, join the party, dressed to kill. Won't you come and join the party, dressed to kill? A dress to kill. Dreams flow. People forget. That big wheel spins. The heavens. People forget. Forget they're hiding. The new slows. People forget. The shares crash. Hopes are dashed. People forget. Forget they're hiding. Yeah. Behind an eminence front. Eminence front. It's a put on. It's an eminence front. It's an eminence front. It's a put on. An eminence front. Eminence front. It's a put on. Eminence front. It's an eminence front. It's a put on. It's a put on. It's a put on. It's a put on. Come on, join the party, dress to. Come on, join the party, dress to. Come on, join the party, dress to. Come on, join the party, dress to kill. Dress yourself to kill.
That sounds pretty awesome. I'm super, super happy with how that's sounding. There was just a little bit of harshness I grabbed on the vocals, I think is all I heard it on. I tucked the cymbals, the overheads back just a click. There were two notches here on the lead vocal, one at 3.48K and one at 3.85K. So bumped the vocal up in volume a little bit. And then same kind of thing on the backgrounds here. There was one at 3.74K that was it was making the background sound kind of whistly when they came in. So pulled that down, pushed the backgrounds up a couple clicks there, and that about does it there. That sounds really, really good. I'm happy with how that came out there. There was actually no harshness on the lead guitar that I heard. I thought that's where I was going to find all the harshness, but that sounded super, super good there. As always, link at the top of the chat, top of the description. You can download the multi-tracks for this song. It's called Eminence Front. It's a cover of a song by The Who. You can download these multi-tracks. You can come back. You can mix along with the stream. The replay will stay up here. There's so many other multi-tracks on that page as well with links back to all of the weekly mixing streams. So you can grab any of the multi-tracks you want, go back to the stream. You can mix along with me. Or you can just grab any of them and use them for your own kind of mixing practice and your mixing journey there. Thank you so much for hanging out with me for another stream here. I try to do these every Wednesday at about 1 p.m. Central Time here in the U.S. We missed the past couple weeks because it was Christmas Eve and then it was New Year's Eve, but we should be back on a weekly schedule here for the New Year. So first stream of the new year. Happy New Year. Hope to see you in another one very, very soon. That's going to do it here for this one. Make sure you grab the Multitracks. Thank you so much for hanging with me for another stream here, and I will see you in the next one very, very soon.